Hello everyone. So today we'll be doing triangles. So our first question is, in the triangle above, what is the value of x? So in a triangle, the total number of angles, they are 180 angles. So if you add all the angles up, so it's equal to 180. So 2x plus 30 should be equal to 180. So 3x equals to 180 minus 30, and x would be equal to 150 divided by 3, that is 50 degrees. So option D is correct. Second question, the difference between the measures of the two smaller angles of the right triangle. So it's a right triangle, so one is 90 degrees. What is the measure in degrees of the smallest angle? So let's suppose this is your x, and these are obviously would be less than 90 degrees. The other two angles would be less than 90 degrees. So they are the two smaller angles. So this angle would be x minus 8. Because if the difference between the measures of the two smaller angles of a right triangle is 8, so the difference between these two angles is 8 degrees. So again, x plus x minus 8 plus 90 should be equal to 180. So 2x minus 8 equals to 90. So 2x equals to 98. So if we divide 98 by 2, we get 49. And we need to find out the smallest angle. So this is your smallest angle. So 49 minus 8 equals to 41. So option B is correct. Now, what is the area of an equilateral triangle whose altitude is 6? Now, before solving this question, I will be giving you certain concepts. So let's suppose this is your equilateral triangle. So each angle is 60 and each sides are equal. Now let's suppose we take each side as 2 and we divide this angle from here into two parts. So we have this triangle over here. So this is 90, this is 2, and this would be 1. This angle is 60 degrees. Now sine 60, cos 60, tan 60, and sine 30, cos 30, and tan 30. We need to know what are the values. Now from Pythagoras theorem, we can find out this side. So this side would be, Pythagoras theorem is c square plus a equals to a square plus b square. Now c is your hypotenuse, that is the opposite of 90 degrees. The side that is opposite to 90 degrees. So over here it is 2 square, 1 square plus b square. So b square equals to 4 minus 1, or b equals to under root 3. So we have under root 3 over here. So this side is under root 3. Now what is your sine 60? If this is your 60, then this angle would be your 30. And as we know, we are dividing it by 2. So 60 is being divided into two parts. So this angle would be 30. Sine 60 is opposite upon hypotenuse. So this would be under root 3 over 2. Cos 60 is adjacent upon hypotenuse. So this would be 1 over 2. And tan 60 is opposite upon adjacent. So this would be under root 3 over 1. Sine 30, again sine 30 would be opposite upon hypotenuse. This would be 1 over 2. Cos 30 would be adjacent upon hypotenuse. So this would be under root 3 over 2. And tan 30 is opposite upon adjacent, or 1 over under root 3. Now as we know that the altitude is 6. So this is your altitude. This is your 6. This is your 60 degrees. I want to find out this side. I want to find out the base. So tan 60 will be equal to opposite upon adjacent. So opposite is 6. So adjacent, this is what we need to find out. So tan 60 is under root 3. So adjacent equals to 6 over under root 3. So this side is 6 over under root 3. And this side is also 6 over under root 3. So 6 over under root 3 plus 6 over under root 3 would be 12 over under root 3. So the area of the triangle would be half into base, that is 12 over under root 3 multiplied by height. So this would be 6 is 36 over under root 3, or multiplied by under root 3 divided by under root 3. So this would be 36 under root 3 divided by 3. So 12 into under root 3. So option B is correct. Also, you need to memorize this, and also we can have we need to know what is sine 45, cos 45, and tan 45. For this, let's suppose we have a triangle. It's a right angle triangle having an isosceles triangle. So these sides are 1 and 1. So the hypotenuse would be under root 2. So the hypotenuse would be under root 2. Why c square equals to 1 square plus 1 square would be c equals to under root 2. Now sine 45 would be sine 45 opposite upon under root 2, 1 over under root 2. Cos 45 adjacent upon under root 2. So 1 over under root 2 again. And tan 45 would be opposite upon adjacent, that is 1 over 1, that is equal to 1. So you need to know all of this. So sine 45 is 1 over under root 2, cos 45 is again 1 over under root 2, and tan 45 equals to 1. So you need to know, you need to memorize these relationships. Okay, so question number 4. Two sides of a right triangle are 12 and 13. So one scenario, now it's a right angle triangle. So one scenario can be this is one side and this is the another side. The other scenario can be that 13 would be your hypotenuse. So 13 would be the longest side. This would be 12 and this would be x, and over here this is your x. Now x squared can be equal to 112 square plus 13 square, that is x squared equals to 313. 12 square is 144 plus 169 equals to 313, or x equals to 3 under root 313. Or this side can be equal to 169 equals to 12 square, that is 144 plus x square. How do we get 169? That is your 13 square. So x square equals to 169 minus 144, that is equal to 25. So x equals to 5. So we have either this or this. Option B or E. Now what is the value of PS in the triangle above? Now this is your PS. Now before calculating PS, we need to find out this side. We need to find out this side. So again, Pythagoras theorem, c square equals to a square plus b square. Now c is your 20. A square would be, this is the whole a square. This would be the whole a. That would be your 16 plus b square. So b square equals to 400 minus 256. So b square equals to 400 minus 256 is how much? 144. So b should be equal to 12. So I now know that this side is 12. We need to find out what is the value of PS in the triangle above. So I need to know this side now. Now this is your hypotenuse now. So c square equals to a square plus b square. Now c square is what we need to find out. One side is 12 square, the other side is 5 square. So c square equals to 144 plus 25, that is equals to 169. So c under root 169 equals to 13. So the correct answer is option D. Now if the measure of the angles of a triangle are in the ratio 1:2:3, now if we have this triangle, so one angle should be, so the total is, if we add all of them up, 1 plus 2 plus 3 is 6. And if the length of the smallest side of the triangle is 10, so let's find out what does this 1 represents in your angle. So total we have 1 plus 2 plus 3 is 6. So 1 over 6 into 180. Why 180? Because there are 180 angles in a triangle. So this is your 30 degrees. This would be 2 over 6 into 180. This is your 60 degrees. And this is 3 over 6 into 180. This would be your 90 degrees. So I know that one angle is 90, the other one is 30, and the other one is 60. So 10 will be the one that is opposite to 30. So this is one of the property that the angle, the smallest angle will going to have the smallest, the opposite side would be the smallest one. So this 60, the opposite side of the 60. So let's suppose this is your triangle. This is your 30, this is your 60, and this is your 90. So obviously the largest angle is this 90. So the opposite side of this 90 degree would be the highest. And this is your longest side. On the smallest side would be the one that is opposite to the smallest angle, that is your 30. So what is the length of the longest side? So the length of the longest side would be this hypotenuse. So I know that sine 30 equals to opposite upon hypotenuse. This is your opposite, sine 30, opposite of 30 is 10. and this is your hypotenuse. And hypotenuse would be your longest side. So hypotenuse would be equal to 10 divided by sine 30. And as we know from the previous slide, sine 30 equals to half. So sine 30 is half. So 10 divided by 0.5 equals to 20. So the correct option is D. Now, what is the value of x in the figure above? So we have an isosceles triangle because this is 50, this is also 50. The lengths are equal. So this angle and this angle would be equal. So y plus 50 equals to 180. So 2y plus 50 equals to 180. So 2y equals to 130. Y equals to 130 divided by 2 is 65. So this is 65. The straight line consists of 180 degrees. So 65 plus x equals to 180. X equals to 180 minus 65 equals to 115. So the answer for question 7 is 115 degrees. Question 8, in the above figure, what is the value of W? So most of the students might think that W would be equal to 90. Now this can only be true if this side and this side are parallel, but we are not sure that these two sides are parallel or not. So we cannot state that W would be equal to 90. So what we can do is, first we calculate this side. So this angle, let's suppose, is x. So x plus 90 plus 50 equals to 180. So x equals to what? 40 degrees. If this is your 40, then this will also be your 40. If this angle is 40, then this angle will also be 40. So what is your W? So W plus 30 plus 40 equals to 180. So W will be equal to 180 minus 70, that is equal to 110. So question 8, the answer is 110. Now we need to find out this area, this triangle having this side, this shaded region. So what is the area of BED? So B, E, and D. So if you look closely, we have a rectangle. So this is your rectangle, and we have two triangles. So this is your triangle 1 and this is your triangle 2. So we need to find out the area of these two triangles and subtract it from the rectangle. So the area of rectangle would be what? Area would be base into length, or height into breadth. So this one side, the height is, or the length is 9. So 9 multiplied by 12, that is equal to 108. So this is 9 and this is 12. So the area would be 108. What would be the angle of triangle 1? So triangle 1 would be half into base into height. So what is your base? 12. What is your height? So this is your 12 and this is your 9. This is so 6 9s are 54. And you can also see that it is, this triangle 1 is half of the rectangle. So if the area of your rectangle is 108, then the area of triangle 1 would be half of 108, that is your 54. Now what will be the area of triangle 2? So half into base into height. Again, the base is 12 and the height now is 5. So 6 5s are 30. So this area BED would be 108. That's your total area of the rectangle, minus 54 minus 30. So 54 minus 108 minus 88 would be how much? 108 minus 54 plus 30 is how much? 84. So 108 minus 54 minus 30. So 108 minus 54 minus 30 would be 24. So option B is correct. Now the same question, but now we are asked to find out the perimeter. So we need to find out this length and we also need to find out this length. So now this first length, this is your hypotenuse. So this is your 12 and this is your 9. So hypotenuse square would be equal to 12 square plus 9 square. That is 144 plus 81. So 144 plus 81 is 225. So H will be equal to under root 225, that is 15. So this length is 15. What will be your this length would be what? This is again is your hypotenuse. So H square would be 5 square plus 12 square. So 24 plus 25 plus 144 is 169. So under root 169 is 13. So this side is 13. So the perimeter would be what? Perimeter of BED would be 15 plus 13 plus 4. So 15 plus 13 plus 4 is 32. So the right answer is D. Now, what is the area of DFH? Again, we need to find out the area of shaded region. So let's suppose this is your triangle 1 and this is your triangle 2. What is the area of total triangle? So this would be 21. Now, what will be the area of triangle 1? Triangle 1 would be half into base into height. So half into 3 into 7, it's 10.5. And again, it's the half of the rectangle. Now, in order to find out the area of triangle 2, I first need to find out the base. So base would be what? Hypotenuse is 5. So 5 squared, so hypotenuse square equals to a square plus b square. So 5 square plus 3 square plus b square. So b square equals to 25 minus 9 and b equals to under root 16. So this is your 4. So area of triangle 2 would be half into 4 into 3 and that's your 6. So area of shaded region would be 21 minus 10.5 minus 6 would be equal to 4.5. This is not 10.6, this is 10.5 because this is your area of triangle 1. So 21 minus 10.5 minus 6, it's not 4, it's 6. Minus 6 would be 4.5. So 21 minus 10.5 minus 6 equals to 4.5. So the correct answer is option B. Now what is the perimeter of DFH? So D, F and H. So we have calculated this as 4. So if this is 4, then this side would be 3. And I need to find out this hypotenuse. So if this is 3, so 7 square plus 3 square, H square equals to 7 square plus 3 square, or H square equals to 49 plus 9, H equals to under root 58. So this is your under root 58. So perimeter is what? 5 plus 3 plus under root 58, or we can say 8 plus under root 58. So this is option B. Now, which of the following express a true relationship between X and Y in the following figure? So we know that 3Y plus 2X plus X should be equal to 180, or 3Y plus 3X should be 180. So Y plus X should be 60. So if we divide this whole side by 3, so Y plus X equals to 60. Or we can say Y equals to 60 minus X. Hence option A is correct. Now question 14 and 15. So what is the perimeter of A, B and C? So A, B and C. So this is A and B, B and C. And so we need to add all these three sides. So in order to find out these two sides, I need to first find out this side. So this side would be equal to, let's suppose this is your A. So A square plus B square equals to C square. So A square plus 9 square equals to hypotenuse, that is your 15 square. So A square equals to 225 minus 81. A square equals to 144. So 225 minus 81 is 144. So A equals to 12. So now I know that this side is 12. Now I need to find out hypotenuse. So sine 30 equals to opposite upon hypotenuse. So hypotenuse will be equal to opposite upon sine 30. So opposite is 12 divided by sine 30 is 0.5. So 12 divided by 0.5 is 24. So this side will be 24. Now what will be this side? Now this side cos 30 equals to adjacent upon hypotenuse. So cos 30 is what? Cos 30, as we have seen before. So cos 30 is under root 3 over 2. So if you go back to the table, so cos 30 is under root 3 over 2. If you come back, so adjacent would be equal to under root 3 over 2 multiplied by 24. So this would be 12 under root 3. So this is your 12 under root 3. Now we need to find out the perimeter. So perimeter would be 15 plus 9 plus 12 under root 3 plus 24. So 15 plus 9 plus 24 is 48 plus 12 under root 3. So 48 plus 12 under root 3 is option C. And now what is the area of A, B and C? So A, B and C. So area is half into base into height. So half. What's your base? Base would be 9 plus 12 under root 3. And what's your height? Height is your 12. So 2 ones are 2 6 are 6 nines are 54 and 12 6 are what? 72 under root 3. So 54 plus 72 under root 3 is option C. So option C is correct. Now the length of two sides of triangle are 7 and 11. So we need to understand if we have two sides. So one side is, let's suppose 3, the other side is 7. Now we can also say that the other side. So if we make this, if the whole, this is your total is 7. And let's suppose this from here to here, this is your 3. Now this distance would be 4. If we increase this, if we have an angle over here, then this side would be something more than 4. And the maximum we can have, if this is 7 side, then this thing can move, this thing can move up and up. So at this point, the distance would be the highest. So in this particular case, the triangle will be having the other side of the triangle. The other side of the triangle, if we have 3 over here, so the distance cannot be more than 11. Now, if we have two sides, 3 and 7, so the smallest distance would be at least 4 plus, and it cannot be more than 10. So in this particular case, the smallest distance would be 3, and the greatest distance would be less than 18. So the other side would be more than 3 or less than 18. More than 3 or less than 7. 11 minus 7 is 4. Sorry. 11 minus 7 is 4. So one side would be more than 4 and the other side would be less than 18. So so one side, so the length of the third side. So one side is 4, the other side is 11. So the third side can have the smallest length of 4 plus, like at least 4. And the maximum length of the third side would be at least less than 18. Not at least, it should be less than 18. So it's a number between 4 plus and less than 18. So the length of the third side would be something more than 4 and less than 18. So of course it is more than 4. Again, I'm trying to reiterate or redo this question. And I just want to make this, for example, we have this side is 11 and this side is 7. This side is 14. So if we keep on increasing this, so this would be at least 4 or plus. So the third side would be, the smallest length would be 4 plus, more than 4. The smallest side would be more than 4. And the maximum length would be less than 18. So if we have 7 length over here, and let's suppose we have 11 and 7 to this side. So the total distance is 18. So the third side would be less than 18. So the correct answer is A. So the smallest side would be more than 4 and less than 18. So any quantity that is between 4 and 18 is greater than 4. So option A is correct. Now the ratio of length of diagonal to the length of a side of a square. So we have a square, let's suppose 1 and 1. So diagonal would be 1 square plus 1 square under root, that is under root 2. So the ratio of length of diagonal, that is under root 2 over 1. So both of them are equal. So option C is correct. 18. So we have 10 and 10, the perimeter. The perimeter of ABC, so A, B, and C. Now you need to again understand that the length of BC, the maximum length will be less than 20, and the minimum length would be more than 0. Will be more than 0. So why? Because 10 minus 10 is 0 and 10 plus 10 is 20. So the length would be actually more than 0 and less than 20. So the perimeter can be 10 plus 10. It can be 19. So this number can be 39. This can be 10 plus 10 plus 5. So it's a number between 0 and 20. So the perimeter can be 25. So we are not sure that whether the quantity is more than 30, less than 30. So the correct answer is D. So the point you need to understand is the length of the third side would be between 0 and 20. More than 0, less than 20 because of the two sides. Now refer to the following. Now x is greater than 90. X is greater than 90. Now the length of AB. Now we know for one thing that radius would be the same. So this is 5 and this is 5. And let's suppose x is equal to 90. X is equal to 90. Then this side AB side would be what? So AB square equals to 5 square plus 5 square. So AB would be equal to under root 50. That is little more than 7 point, under root 50 is little more than 7. So it's 7 plus. 7 7s are 49. So AB would be little more than 7. So if x is equal to 90, the length of AB is more than 7, then obviously when x is greater than 90, so if this x is greater than 90, so if this is 90, this is 7 point something. If this angle is more than 90 now, so this length AB would be more than 7.1. So at 90 it is 7.1. So if x equals to 90, this is the point when AB is 7.1. When x will be more than 90, when x will be more than 90, then this length of AB will be even more than 7.1. So the length of AB is more than 7. So the option A is correct. So refer to the following figure. Now we need to find out when x is greater than 90, the perimeter of AOB. Now perimeter of AOB. So I know that this is 5. This angle would be 5 as well. This angle would be 5 as well. Now 5 plus 5. Now when your x is 90 degrees, when your x is 90 degrees, so we came to the conclusion that this length would be 7 point something, 7.1. So this would be 17. But we need to understand. We need to understand that this AB, the length of AB, now if it is more than if this is more than 90, if x is more than 90, then the maximum length it can be having would be something that is less than 10. Less than 10. Why? Because the maximum length would be 5 plus 5, that is your 10. Now this number, one thing for sure, that this side, this AB side would be less than 20. Less than 10. And it will be more than 7.1 something. It will be more than 7.1 something. So 5 plus 5, if it is less than 10, because why less than 10? 5 plus 5 is 10. It is less than 10. So if it is 10, then it is 15. 15 is even less than 20. So 5 plus 5 plus a number that is 5 plus 5 plus 10 is 20. So 5 plus 5 plus a number that is less than 10 will be a number that will always be less than 20. Because AB, the maximum side AB can have, the maximum length of AB would be less than 10. Something that is, it cannot be more than 10. The maximum side can be less than 10. It cannot be more than 10. So 5 plus 5, if it is 10, it is 20. But 10 cannot be the side. AB can never be 10. AB can be less than 10. So 5 plus 5 plus less than 10 will be a number that is less than 20. So B, option B is correct. that quantity B is 20. That will always be greater than perimeter. So 5 plus 5 plus less than 10 will be a number that is less than 20. The area of an equilateral triangle whose sides are 10. So whose sides are 10, 10, 10, and 10. If the sides are 10, then we know this is your 60. Then what will be this length? This length will be what? So sine 60 equals to height over 10. So sine 60 was under root 3 over 2. So h would be 5 into under root 3. So 5 into under root 3 is a number that is approximately, under root 3 is 1.7. So 5 into 1.7 is a number that is less than 10. Anyhow, that's regardless of the fact. The area of an equilateral triangle whose altitude is 10. Now, simple thing is that if this is 10, then this hypotenuse would be more than 10. Then this triangle would be more than this triangle, because the sides, the area of an equilateral triangle whose sides are 10. So over here, this is 10. Then the height would be obviously less than 10. If the height is 10, then the side would be more than 10. Then this triangle would be more than, like this side is more than 10. This side is more than 10. Now obviously quantity B, the area of an equilateral triangle whose altitude is 10. If the altitude is 10, then the side is even more than 10. Will be greater than the triangle having a side of 10. So option B is correct. Now these are your shaded regions. So these are your shaded regions. Okay. So the perimeter of shaded region. So now we know that so refers to the following figure in which the horizontal and vertical sides divided square ABC into 16 small squares. So let's suppose each side is 1. Each side is 1. So this diagonal would be 1 square plus 1 square equals to 2, or obviously under root this. So each diagonal is under root 2. Why? Because c square equals to a square plus b square. Again, 1 square plus 1 square is 2. C square equals to 2, and c would be equal to under root 2. Anyhow, the perimeter of the shaded region. So this is your shaded region. So one side, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So the perimeter of the shaded region would be 12 into under root 2. The perimeter of the square. So the perimeter of the square is 16. So perimeter of the square is 16. So which number? So this is 16 and this is 12 under root 2. Now which one is the greater number? So let's square this. So 16 square is 256. So this would be 144 into 2. So 144 into 2 is 288. So quantity A is greater than quantity B. And now we need to find out the area of shaded region. Now again, this is your shaded region. And area, the area of white region. So it is the area that is outside. So the total area is 16. So 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1, 4 into 4 is 16. So this is one triangle, this is one triangle. Look, half triangle plus half triangle is one triangle. Half triangle plus half triangle is, half triangle plus half triangle is one square. Over here it's a square. So one square plus one square. So half triangle plus half triangle is one square. So one square plus one square. This is half triangle, this is half triangle. So let's first find out. So we have one square, we have second square, 1, and again half and half, 3 square, 4 and 5 squares. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 1, 2, again 1 square hole, 1 square hole. So 2 square, again half square is 1, half square is 1. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we have 10 shaded region. Total region is 16. So the area of shaded region is 10. The area of unshaded region is 6. So quantity A is greater than quantity B. So option A is correct. Again, just in your exam, You just look, these are your shaded regions. So 1 square, 2 square, 3 square, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10. 16 minus 10 is 6. 6 is your white region. So 16 is greater than 10. So option A is correct. 24. Quantity A plus B. Now A would be what? A 180 minus 145 is 35. B would be what? 180 minus 125 is what? 180 minus 125 is 55. So A plus B would be what? A plus B would be 90. And C is what? So C would be C plus 35 plus 55 equals to 180. So C is equal to 90. So both of them are equal. So option C is correct. 25. Quantity A is PR. So this is PR. And quantity B is QR. So if this is 65, this is 45. So this angle would be what? X plus 65 plus 45 equals to 180. So this X would be 60 plus 40 is 100, 110, 180 minus 110 is 70. So this angle is 70. Now the angle, so this has the highest angle. So QR would be the longest. QR would be the longest. So the side that is opposite to the highest angle is the longest side. And PQ would be the smallest and QR would be the longest side. So QR would be greater than PR. So definitely we know that QR is the longest side. So QR is even longer than PR. So option B is correct. Lastly, do a lot of practice so that you can get a perfect score. Thank you, class.